Hello, and welcome to Projected Meditation. Here we invite you on a unique journey beyond traditional meditation. Prepare to project your mind into captivating stories, feeling every emotion and detail as if you're truly there. This isn't just listening, it's an immersive experience designed to transport your consciousness through the power of narrative. To begin your projected meditation, please follow these simple steps. Find a peaceful space where you won't be disturbed for the next minutes. For the best immersive experience, please use headphones or earbuds. Lie down or sit comfortably, ensuring your body is relaxed and supported. When you're ready, gently close your eyes. This will allow your imagination to unfold freely. Take a few deep, slow breaths, inhaling peace and exhaling any tension. Now listen carefully for the signal. Upon the third chime, your journey will begin. The silence of the vast, hushed library was a physical presence, a profound stillness that absorbed the distant city's roar and left only the soft turning of pages. For James, a young archivist in Boston in the early 20th century, this silence was both a sanctuary and a mirror. He was surrounded by the quiet weight of history, by the scent of old paper and polished wood, but he felt a persistent hollowness, a sense of being untethered from his own past, disconnected from the very city that had raised him. His work, meticulously cataloging the written word, was a solitary anchor, but it did not fill the void he felt inside. His current task, however, was different. It was a project that dealt not with the silent script of history, but with its living breath. He was tasked with the meticulous, delicate work of digitizing a collection of fragile audio recordings from a bygone era. These were not the speeches of great men, but the voices of ordinary citizens, their stories captured on fragile magnetic tape. His workshop, a small room deep in the library's heart, was a sanctuary within a sanctuary. The air was thick with the faint hum of his equipment, a low, steady thrum that was the only sound besides his own breathing. His hands, precise and gentle, were his primary instruments. They were hands that understood the delicate touch required to handle the brittle ancient tape, to guide it onto the spools, and to press the buttons that would bring a past moment back to life. His first listening was of a recording of an old woman, her voice thin and wavering with age, recounting a simple tale of her childhood in Boston. The sound of her voice, a gentle, almost ghost-like whisper, was like a thread woven from the past into his present moment. She spoke of the scent of baking bread from a bakery in the old North End, of the feeling of snow on her face as she walked to school, and of the sound of a trolley car's bell as it clanged on its morning route. Her story was not grand or epic. It was a simple, beautiful tapestry of small, ordinary moments, a map of a life lived. James, listening, felt a stir within him, a flicker of a connection he had not expected. His work was a form of archaeology, a quiet excavation of a forgotten past. His constant, quiet companion in this work was Mrs. Gable, an elderly librarian with a face as serene and kind as a landscape. She would pass his room every morning on her rounds, her footsteps silent on the carpet, and pause for a moment at his door. She never spoke, but her presence was a quiet, warm reassurance. One morning, she stopped and gestured to the humming equipment. Her voice was soft, like the rustle of old paper.
"They are not just sounds, young man,"
she said.
"They are echoes. They are what remains."
Her words, a quiet, profound insight, resonated with him. He was not just preserving sounds. He was preserving the echoes of life, of love, of simple human experiences. As the days turned into weeks, James became a cartographer of memories. He listened to the voice of a young man, a soldier leaving for the war, his voice filled with both fear and hope. He listened to the voice of a mother, her voice filled with a quiet love as she described the simple joy of watching her child sleep. He listened to the voice of a sailor, his voice deep and weathered, recounting the sound of the sea and the feeling of a cold wind on his face. Each voice was a map, a detailed account of a life, of an emotion, of a moment in time. James, who had felt so disconnected, began to feel a profound sense of belonging. He was not alone. He was a link in a chain, a quiet guardian of the collective soul of his city. His work culminated in a recording of a man, his voice rich with age and wisdom, reflecting on his life as an immigrant who had found his home in Boston. The man's voice, warm and resonant, spoke of the profound feeling of belonging to a place, not because of where you were born, but because of the life you had built there, the connections you had made, the people you had loved. The man's final words, a simple, profound statement about the beauty of a life lived, resonated deep within James. The sound of the tape ended, leaving a profound silence in the room. In that silence, a profound realization settled over James. He was not just a cartographer of streets and buildings. He was a cartographer of memories, mapping the human heart and the collective soul of his city. The map he was creating was not a cold, sterile document of dates and names. It was a living, breathing record of 1,000 small, beautiful moments, a symphony of 1,000 voices that had come together to tell the story of a city and of a life. He looked at his logbook, its pages filled with the details of each voice, and felt a profound sense of peace. He had not found his home in the city's streets, but in the echoes of its stories. He was no longer disconnected. He was a part of the tapestry, a weaver of memories, a cartographer of souls. As this narrative journey concludes, hold its tranquil peace and insights. Now slowly return, feeling refreshed. Gently open your eyes to your present moment,